This season of the Miscraft Cup Series has been pretty mid. There has been your fair share of winners, but not that much, interesting moments. Yes, we did have Christopher Bell become Denny Hamlin in 2021 at Martinsville to Kyle Larson after West Wave, a double flip in Talladega, and the season isn't even finished yet. So, hell gives what can happen here. But there has been a quiet, deep run that could have gotten into the chase for one of the created drivers, the 74 of Tyler McDonald, the Swedish fish car that you see right there on screen. He had a deep run, finished in the top 10 sometimes, but it all came down to one race. And we'll talk about that later on. Let's start at Daytona. Daytona was an overtime race because of a huge wreck with Martin Truex Jr. that McDonald was right behind and avoided. Even though the outside had a huge checkup at the start, he finished P3 after the outside got a huge run on the white flag, including Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, and himself. And then Stenhouse spun. He could have lost at the Bowman there, but this was one of his best races all season, which propelled him early in to the top 5 in points, which is amazing for a team like his and a driver like him. So, let's see what McDonald can do for the rest of the season, if he even has the rest of the season. For the second race of the season, the Miscraft Cup Series went back to New Hampshire for the first time in 6 seasons, which is basically 10 years. This was the first real race of the Bell versus Larson rivalry after Larson dumps Christopher Bell. But Tyler McDonald, this was the first race where he was also the worst Texas Heat racing car in the season, after Blake Garcia was top 10 all race, and he was mid-pack. He finished 15th or 16th, I think. I'll show it up here. And he went down to P6 in points, but that's going to give some good heat for Texas Heat, which puts both cars in the playoffs. After today's race at New Hampshire, next race would be a very interesting one, though, as we head to Los Angeles Motor Speedway. LA was a race that could have been for Texas Heat. Even though Tyler McDonald was the slower Texas Heat car again, because Blake Garcia was leading a few laps in the early stages, this was also the race where Bell just dumps Kyle Larson and has to visit the NASCAR Hall where he got a penalty. McDonald finished pretty high this race. He gave Texas Heat Racing their first ever double top 10, actually finishing higher than Blake Garcia, finishing 7th, and Garcia finishing 8th. And I did not expect this, but McDonald's P4 in points after 3 races. Yeah, he was a legit championship contender after 3 races in the season. How did he fall off so bad? Well, you're going to have to see how it really fell off, for not just him, but Texas Heat Racing as a whole. We head to race 4, which was at Phoenix, halfway through the regular season now. McDonald has been having a career season, Blake Garcia as well. But as you see in this clip, Garcia goes around making contact with Alex Bowman, and McDonald has to avoid going into pit road. This, I thought, could have been McDonald's race ender, and it kind of was for Blake Garcia, which caused him a DNF, basically, and removed him from playoff contention immediately. McDonald, though, did improve, getting himself a P9. And I can't say it right now, but I will say it right now. He moved up a spot. He's 3rd. 3rd in points. In maybe the slowest car on the grid. A championship contender in a created team. Man, I can't believe it. Where did it go so wrong for Bristol was feeling to be a normal race for Tyler McDonald to continue to be a championship contender and just continue being like that. And maybe one of the best races of the season where the battle for Larson and Bell really feuded. As Larson was the first one to actually use the highline this race, Tyler McDonald and Blake Garcia actually struggled this race. But McDonald struggled in the other way you could suspect, as Garcia was just slow. As McDonald, for the first time in a while, was the fastest Texas Heat Racing car, but I will let this next clip just decide what happened this race for Tyler McDonald.
Ryan Blaney here. As down to turn by 3, there's a big crash. McDonald McDonald's around. So is Chase Briscoe. And it looked like Michael McDowell was up into the wall as well, as we're under the yellow flag.
On lap 7, Tyler McDonald and Chase Briscoe made contact, and which spun McDonald around. Briscoe got it going and finished pretty high in the order. But McDonald could not recover, finished P27, and fell down from 3rd to 6th in points. This is the first race that I saw that McDonald really fell off in the season. So this is where we start seeing McDonald really crumble really hard after the season. We are halfway through the regular season. McDonald was free in the playoffs, but if he didn't spin there, I think he could have been comfortably in the playoffs. Race 6 in the Miscraft Cup Series schedule, and the second crown jewel of the season, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is supposed to be a turning point for Garcia and McDonald in the season, for McDonald to go back into championship contention and Garcia to go back into playoff contention. But it did not really work out that way for both cars. Garcia finished below the top 20 due to getting involved in a wreck late in the race, I think, or just being slow. As Tyler McDonald, on the other hand, disaster struck again for that 74.
Continues to try to fight back towards the second spot, but the 3 wide, a little bit of contact with Noah Gregson, 3 wide through the middle. As now Bell makes a move. Oh, there's contact and spinning in the back. Goes Ryan Priest and McDonald again, and he'll back that car onto pit road as we're back under the yellow flag.
McDonald once again went around 2 times this race, but it didn't show the first one. Off the bumper of Ryan Priest in both attempts, where he spun around. I just gulped again, that's great. Anyways, he finished in 26th, below J.J. Yaley, but also below Jake Blake Garcia, and he didn't actually lose a spot in the playoff contention, still in 7th. I'm just gonna fucking take this water out of my goddamn mouth. Anyways, it was calamity here. Truex threw his helmet at Tyler Reddick, even though Reddick had a tire down on the white flag. The race ended under yellow, and we head to West Wave, I think, for the first time since Season 4 in the Miscraft Cup Series. Another track return, just like the Coca-Cola 600, as here's Truex getting wrecked. Boom, there he goes. Alright, let's move on to West Wave. This race, McDonald was, nowhere this race, but with 2 laps to go right here, you see right here, Christopher Bell digs a tire into the grass, goes wide, and leaves no room to Kyle Larson, which spins him out. And then McDonald is only 1 point behind the playoff cut line. Lap after lap, he was losing more and more time to more and more points to the playoff, to the chase battle. Die. Anyways, even though the playoff level drivers Briscoe Logano, P2 and P3 in race finishing position, McDonald was still 1 point behind Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin for that last spot in the playoffs. Talladega is the next race. It is a really good chance for Tyler McDonald to get himself into the playoffs with a win. Time for the final chance to make it into the chase. Talladega Superspeedway. I'll take you through the entire race. Even pre-race, Tyler McDonald qualified in not so good of a position, P20 for the 74. That doesn't mean, though, McDonald's championship hopes were over. He was a really great superspeedway racer, finished P3 in the Daytona 500, which is a crown jewel race. The Miscraft 500 is also a crown jewel race. And there's a new air package, 750 horsepower, shortened rear spoiler, and rear diffuser adjustment, which, said by Miscraft, would start making lines, like the inside and outside of middle lines, but Miscraft can take it away from here.
34 cars, it's time to cut to the chase here in Talladega. And Chris Buescher will be the one to put the pedal to the metal first. Green flag is in the air here in Talladega.
I'll just let the clip play out from here.
Off the making a turn number 2 down the Alabama Gangster for the first time today. 3-car single file now. Hamlin jumps to the outside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for second. Side by side, Buescher comes up to block. Here comes Hamlin to the inside. He'll try to take the lead and lead the first lap of the race. Bowman already making a daring move. 3 on the outside. He finally got those troops rallied up top. And your pole sitter, Chris Buescher, just begins to plummet through the middle. Down the back they are side by side for third, looking for second now. Here comes Alex Bone to the outside. Oh man, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. through a block. They are now 4 wide to the tri-oval at Talladega. Here comes those Toyotas through the middle, 3 wide in the back. Oh, there goes McDonald to the outside wall. Boom, we got to turn around. A massive, massive impact off the bank. Got turn number 2, and they're wadding it up, and 2 cars go spinning.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. makes a bad push to the 48 of Alex Bowman, spinning him down to the 74 Tyler McDonald, putting him into the wall, nearly flipping him upside down, and ending McDonald's playoff hopes. He had a great start to the season, but the end was horrible. 2 DNFs, including Talladega and Charlotte. 3 spins. With that crash, McDonald's season was over. To make it just an everlasting pain for Tyler McDonald, he so far has had a decent playoffs. Better than his second half of the regular season. He even got a top 10 at Las Vegas, the race I'm showing right now. It actually would, I believe, put him into the championship 4, but most likely P6 in points. That just shows the talent that number 74 has. I am really looking forward to what he could do next season in the 74. That's all I have to say here from ZRA. The next video will most likely be ZRA at Circuit of the Americas. Sorry, Indy Road Course, because they chose Indy Road Course over COTA. And we'll see you next time. Peace.